Here we go. Oh, righty, you are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. They got smoked at home by the Green Bay Packers 48-32. The Dallas Cowboys suck. Welcome to the Gridiron, man. Cowboys down with them, baby. You suck. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box. It can be 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But I mean, also, plus instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free. Fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link, description box, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, I thank you so much, and it would mean the world to me. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. Top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. Then the one just underneath it. I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. Get off my lawn! It's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 3 trillion years from now, when I'm long gone, it'll be Twitter. It's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I'm not calling it that. It's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in my Twitter account every day. And then finally, also, the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants Gridiron. It's a group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. We have over 7,600 members in the group. It's doing, once again, simply marvelous. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in there, but everyday members post stuff in there as well. So between me and the members, there's a boatload. There's a ton. There's a whole lot, you might say, of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants The Gridiron Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. I will stop saying none of that away with. Well, nothing on the hiring front, right? So, but things I'm sure will be coming soon. But I started looking over some of the salary cap situations and all that, and I'll tell you what, boy, man, phew. How about them Cowboys? Oh my God. Let me see. If we go here, I've got to find it. Once again, I have 352 trillion. I tell you what, those Commanders are. I'll tell you what. If they find themselves, the right coach, I'm not saying Rivera was the wrong coach. It's just things just started going down. I mean, pick up Patrick Mahomes, throw him on the Commanders. Hey, the Commanders are a little bit better. They just didn't have, they need a quarterback. So the shame of it is that it's going to look so attractive to anybody coming in. It's like, yeah, we have their, Now, you don't know what the Bears are going to do. They're almost, if they take a quarterback, it's almost a no-lose situation for them, right? Because they just, they got Justin Fields. They draft Caleb Williams. Just saying. they battle it out, right? Rock'em, sock'em, robots, doom, doom. Or maybe Justin Fields is starter. Caleb Williams sits behind him for a little while, but whatever. And then Caleb goes in there, and then it's his team, and he goes off into the sunset. He's a Chicago Bear forever. But then they take Justin Fields and they trade him, right? You can get something back for him. You're not going to get 13 first rounders for him, but you get something in return for him. So, yeah, right? They could do that. Or they could trade back. I'm sure some quarterback needy team might want to jump up and they grab another draft pick or something like that. But I mean, they're really in a no-lose situation here. They could draft, take Marvin Harrison Jr., take one of those wide receivers right at the top of the draft, and that'll help Justin Fields out. It's amazing what a good wide receiver or two will do. Make your quarterback look pretty good. Right? I mean, for all you Daniel Jones lovers or haters or whatever, it's either you're over here with Daniel Jones, you hate him, or you're over here, you love him. There's nobody in the middle. Nobody. There's nobody in the screen right here. There's nobody here. You love him, and you're off the screen. I think he's good. Or you get rid of that mofo. You're all over here. There's nobody in the middle. But Daniel Jones might look a little bit better. A little bit better. If you put a Marvin Harrison Jr. out there, or a couple of real good stud wide receivers, he might start looking a little bit better. But the Bears are, no lose situation, I think. But anyway, but the Commanders. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, well, Ron, it's like this. We only won so many games this year. We got the second overall pick. We gave you this whole season without a quarterback, right? We stunk, right? So we're going to fire you. So, but the next guy coming in, he's going to draft whatever quarterback he's going to want. He's going to get himself quite a really nice quarterback, right? Unlike you. And he's going to have a lot of money to spend, unlike you. Thanks for shopping at Kmart, Ryan. Have a go, and you're fine. You get out of here. So it is what it is. But I mean, don't know exactly, in the world of sports, how juicy or, how many people were dying to go to Washington to be the head coach there. But, whoever does go there is landing in a nice predicament, right? The number 2 pick in the draft. I don't know if anybody's calling the Bears to see if because the Commanders could flip flop with them, right? It's like Commanders call the Bears. Look, we'll move up one spot. You move back one spot. We'll throw in a third rounder or something like that. Whatever. That way they know they can get themselves a quarterback. If they do pick the phone up and they're calling the Bears, right, and the Bears say, we're good. That means they might be taking a quarterback. So, but I mean, regardless, the Commanders are a very good situation, cap wise and draft wise, and they got to pick the right guy. They got to, I was on Big Blue Kickoff Live, Paul Dottino. These guys, they come up with some really good stats, really good stats. Paul Dottino, I don't know if he did this or he found it somewhere or whatever it was. Oh man, I can't remember what the years, the date was, but I think he said the top 10 picks in the NFL every draft. I think he said up until 2021. Okay, now I don't know if it was from 2000 to 2021, if it was the last 10 years from 2011 to 2021, or what the heck it was, or since the merger in 1970, I don't know. If it was last 50, I don't know. But I think it was up to 2021. He said the top 10 picks in the NFL draft is only a 55% chance, right, that the person's going to turn into an all-pro. So you picking guys, in the top 10, right, and 45% are almost half of them are not going to become all pros. I mean, that's kind of eye-popping. I mean, that's kind of like almost like, okay, woohoo, here we go. Who are we going to, that's almost like a crapshoot then, right? So just because you got a number 2 pick doesn't mean you're going to strike gold, right? You got to pick the right guy. But I mean, if the Commanders, and now just to be fair, just from what I'm hearing, now, I mean, a lot of people seem to really like Caleb Williams. He's like the man, right? But like what I'm hearing is like there's no Peyton Manning coming out. There's no Trevor Lawrence coming out, right? There's no Andrew Luck coming out. There's no can't miss generational talent. Pick this guy, and you're good to go. Quarterback in this draft. I mean, they're all still a little, little iffy. Now, from what I'm hearing, like with Paul Dottino, because I don't follow the college, all the stats and all that stuff and everything. But Paul Dottino was also saying from Big Blue Kickoff Live, he's been with the Giants for like 40 years, I think it is. I mean, a long time. But anyway, what he's been saying, I think he said Penix has had 4, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said 4 season-ending injuries. I mean, if that's not that ain't a red flag, I don't know what is, right? I mean, you can say bad luck, this, that, and everything, but, 4. Not good. Not good. That's a red flag right there. Okay. I was saying anybody, the Commanders, if they pick the right guy, okay. They, obviously it could be set a quarterback for a long time to go. And not only that, but their salary cap situation is very nice. Washington Commanders. Now, this is according to Spot Track. Now, if I go to Spot Track, I go to Over the Cap. Let me do this. Washington Commanders. Salary cap. Let me go over the cap here. Because usually the numbers, for whatever reason, it's different. All right. Okay. Cap space. According to Over the Cap. 2024. 75.7. That's over the cap. 75.7. Now, somehow, here, cap space, they got 84 million with Spot Track. Once again, I don't know. Don't get it. I always go to Spot Track. Now, whether they're spot on or spot off, I don't know. But according to Spot Track, estimated cap space all together, they get 84.3 million in cap space. So, now, of course, they did unload, a couple of their guys, like Chase Young, right? So they unloaded some guys and all, but got $84 million in cap space. They're going to be drafting a quarterback, the number 2 pick. Okay, so if Caleb, just say, once again, don't know. Say Caleb goes, right? That leaves him with a couple other options. You got to make the right option. You got to make the right choice, right? Obviously, you want it to benefit, if Eric the enemy is still going to be there, I'm sure he'll have a say in the matter. Whoever the new coach is coming in. Be interested to see if they bring in an offensive minded coach, right? Somebody who might be really good with quarterbacks, because this is huge. This is huge because if you're drafting somebody number 2, you don't want to make a boo-boo on it. I mean, they've had some suspect quarterback play for quite a few years now. They need to hit it out of the park with this one. He says, especially with the salary cap that they got going on here. So they got, as I said, almost $84.5 million. And that is fantastic. So in 2025, what are they going to have here? Update. Woo. Now, of course, this does not, wow. What do they got? Yeah, okay. In 2025, they only have 27 players. So basically, they got like half the team signed. Okay. The Commanders. According to Spot Track. So, they got to put in another half the team. But I mean, in 2025, they're going to have this year's draft class is going to be added on. They only have in 2025, they only have 27 guys, right? But say they have 7 picks this year. I'm not sure how many, but just say they have 7. That'll put them up to 34. And say they have 7 in 2025. That'll put them at 41 guys. So they, 41 cheap guys relatively. Even if they draft a quarterback in number 2 overall, I mean, he ain't no $40-50 million a year, right? So you're saving. So you got a quarterback possibly 5 years, right? Cheapo money, right? Make the best of it. But if they add 7 guys this year, if the Commanders add 7 guys next year, before going into the 2025 season. I mean, they'll have 41 guys on their roster. I'm kind of just working over here, right? So that'll take away from some of their salary cap that they have. But they, according to that, it was a 207 as of right now. This is, all the contracts and everything is supposed to be an adjusted salary cap. It's supposed to go up quite a bit. But they might have over $200 million, baby. Yeah. According to Spot Track. That's a lot of money to spend. Now, of course, you figure that these two draft classes are going to knock some of that off of that. But, they could have they start bringing in some young guys. They get the right quarterback. If they get the right coach, the right system, and all of that, look for the Commanders could, maybe start working their way up. So don't be surprised if you start seeing, maybe not this year, but maybe next year, right? The Commanders doing good now. Commanders are on this end of the spectrum. Let's go to the Dallas Cowboys. How they looking, huh? Oh, this camera's right here. They're not looking too good. And you know what? I love it. Oh, man. Oh, man, I love it, man. Not as much as because my son, I don't know why. My son's a Cowboy fan, so I despise the Eagles the most. Okay? Because of my son. If it wasn't for my son, who's a Cowboy fan, once again, I don't know why. If it wasn't my son, I would despise the Cowboys the most, but I despise the Eagles the most. The Cowboys despise the second most. But, the Cowboys, holy cow. We look here. Once again, this is all I'm saying. I'm just reading a Spot Track right now. 2024, they're $11 million over the salary cap, right? I found this article here on Cowboys. This is blog, theboys.com, I guess it is. Looks like. Jess Haney wrote this. 7 potential salary cap casualties for the 2024 Dallas Cowboys. Because they got to cut ties. Either cutting ties, or restructuring some contracts big time. Right? We look at Dak. My God. Let's see, 2024. Dak. Cap hit $59 million. You realize that between Dak, here we go, Zach, and DeMarcus Lawrence, right? My God. But 60, 70, 80, 900, that's almost $110 million between those three guys. $110 million between three. Dak, Zach, and DeMarco Lawrence. Right? Holy cow. And then CD, he's at 17. CD, he's got to be coming up. Right? He's an unrestricted free agent. Yeah, absolutely. Because he played his rookie and they picked up his 5th-year option. So next season he'll be making $18 million. Now, of course, they're going to want to try to re-sign him. Probably, I'm thinking long term. Right? Unless they do something what they did with the Amari Cooper, right? Right? Remember they had Amari Cooper, they had the overlap, I think maybe 1 year or so, whatever, maybe 2 years, I forgot. But they had the little overlap between Amari Cooper and ABCD out there, right? And then they let Amari go. And then you got CD. So maybe this year, maybe they go out and try to draft another number one, right? So then you got another number one, and you got ABCD for a year, and then they kind of let ABCD go. But I don't know what Dak is $60 million to the cap this season. Holy cow, Batman! And then if they're going to if he puts it all on the table there, has another good season. Now he had a good season. Playoffs he didn't. I mean, he threw for 452,000 yards in the playoff game, but that's because he threw the ball 958 trillion times. And basically toward the end of the game, when the Packers were up by 1,800 points, it was like, okay, all right, you complete the pass. We'll keep him in bounds, tackle him, drive him to the ground, maybe drop an elbow on him or something like that, whatever like that. Keep the clock running. All right, we'll get back. We're back. And, okay, you complete the pass, come up, make the tackle, drive him into the ground, maybe drop a rock elbow on him or something like that. Keep the clock running, padded his stats, But he threw the ball 60 times, right? But but during regular season, he had a nice season. So it'd be interesting to see what Jerry wants to do in Jerry's world as far as re-signing him. But I mean, this year, $60 million. Holy cow. What I'm saying is that if they're going to re-sign maybe something with a Dak's contract, I don't know, $50 million, they're going to bring it down to 50, somewhere around there. But I mean, if they're going to keep A, B, C, D, and Dak, I mean, you're looking at probably about $80 million with the two guys. I mean, wow. But I mean, they have to do something. Definitely, without question, they definitely have to do something there. All right, but I got this article there I was reading. It says, as we settle into off-season business, the contracts of star players like Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and AB. Well, Micah Parsons, I'll tell you what, when his contract's up, what's that guy going to want? I mean, we're looking at 30 right there, right? I mean, if they keep AB, CD, Micah, and Dak, I mean, between Dak and AB, CD, I mean, you're looking at probably $60 million right there for those two guys. Right? The Cowboys intend to work on their deals this year. The salary cap situation is going to force them some tough decisions elsewhere on the roster. Based on the existing contract signed into next season, Dallas is currently projected to be at least $11 million over the cap. Another source has them at $16 million over the cap. Both projections include $7.3 million in dead money, mostly from releasing Zeke last year, but a couple of other guys as well. Now, these figures don't begin to tell the whole story of where the Cowboys will actually wind up in terms of their cap figure. Whatever happens with Prescott, he's not going to count $59.5 million in 2024. They will also find ways to bring down Zach Martin's $28.5 million hit and probably reduce the $18 million and $16 million hits for AB, CD Lamb, and Trevon Diggs. I mean, the thing is, they got so many guys up here, right? I mean, somewhere along the line, you have to start paying the piper. And when you start paying the piper up here, Trevon Diggs and, ABCD and Zach Martin and, Micah Parsons, and Dak, up there, you got to start letting other guys go. You can only have so many stars, right? So they're talking about, the Cowboys also have to deal with some significant upcoming free agents. Tony Pollard, Tyron Smith, Tyler Biadasz, Stephon Gilmore, Jaron Kearse, and others who will need to be re-signed or replaced. Good luck there. So with all that looming, which current contracted players are most at risk of becoming salary cap casualties? Here are 7 players and what Dallas can gain in new cap space by releasing or trading them. Well, they got DeMarcus Lawrence. If they can save $2.56 million, I guess Lawrence just finished one of his best seasons in white, but Dallas' spiritual leader on defense turns 32, right, in April and carries a huge cap hit. In the interest of keeping Parsons happy, the Cowboys may have to rob the tank to pay the lion. So DeMarcus Lawrence might be one of them. If they release him pre June 1st, they might save $2.5 million. If they release him after June 1st, they would save $10 million. The next one is Michael Gallup. If they release him before June 1st, they'll save $800,000. If they release him after June 1st, they'll save $9.5 million. So unfortunately, they might have to wind up letting one of their star wide receivers go. Leighton Vander Esch, $2.5 million. If they let him go, they might, He also might retire. It says here, choose to retire, which seems possible. His ongoing neck issues, which is a shame. You never want to see anybody get injured, but it is what it is. Cooper Rush, the good backup quarterback. He would be a hot commodity on the open market. Let me tell you what. Cowboys didn't trade for Trey Lance. See, let's not forget about Trey Lance last year for nothing. Now, let's not forget. Somewhere along the line, now they might let go of Dak if they see something in Trey. Don't know. But let's not forget, within a year or so or whatever, Trey's he's going to need to get paid. Now, whether he's on their roster or not, but after that, he's going to need to get paid. Of course, this may have been the plan all along. Lance was kept on the shelf all season to be developed for the future. Rush only had to come in for an occasional blowout and to be a stabilizing presence in the quarterback room. Yeah, so Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott, and Trey Lance, it's not a bad quarterback room. Now, as I said, I don't know if Trey Lance is the quarterback for the future, especially you consider that the 49ers gave up on him, right? And they traded up to get the guy. The punter, Brian Anger, they could let him go, I guess. Chauncey Goldstein and Nashawn Wright. So they got some guys they might have to let go, either let go or do some finagling. But they're $11 million, right, over. Then you figure their draft class comes in, right? So you figure between the new draft class and what they are over right now, they're at least going to be, I guess, about $20 million, I guess, maybe over the cap. So they got to do some finagling. The thing is what they can certainly do with Dak, right? Without question, if they think he's the quarterback of the future, right? Sign him to a long-term contract. His $59.5 million salary cap to give him a signing bonus or whatever. Drop that down and maybe, save $20 million on that hit here, right? Zach Martin, if they plan on maybe extending him further, his $28.5 million, $28.5 million, $30 million for a guard. Jesus God. Sign him long-term, maybe a little long, extend his contract, whatever, take that cap hit, bring that down. It'd be a shame for them to lose to Marcus Lawrence, but man, I know he's going to be 32. Wow, I didn't know that. They could do the same thing with ABCD. Give him a nice long contract, but then, of course, you have to take this cap hit to $17 million and maybe drop that down. Javon Diggs, man, when? Let me say, that dude's going to want to get paid. It's a shame he missed this whole season, or a good portion of it anyway. Okay. He's all right. Potential out after 2025, 2 years, $34 million. Okay. So they got it out with Trevon Diggs. But the one that's the one thing is when you got so many stars, somewhere along the line, you got to pay the piper, right? And with these escalating salaries and all and everything, I know the salary cap is going up quite a bit, and everything. But sometimes you got too many stars, and you got to start jettisoning some of these stars, and it is what it is. They're keeping McCarthy, so okay. He's had, three? I think three. Well, it couldn't be. Maybe it's 3 straight 12-win seasons. It can't be 3 straight 12-5 seasons because 2 seasons before 2023, they were only playing 16 games. So maybe it was 3 straight 12-win seasons. Maybe that's what it is. But it's like, how far in the playoffs did you go? Here you got smoked at home. It was a 15-game, 16-game home winning streak or something like that. Wow. I said, but you look at some of these guys. Geez. As I said, Micah Parsons next season, he's only counting $5.4 million toward the salary cap next season. Right now, they're going to have to pick up his 5th-year option because you got to pick up the 5th-year option before. That's a no-brainer, right?
So they have to pick up his fifth-year option somewhere before, obviously, the fourth season starts. They just can't go halfway into the fourth season. My bad. Yeah, we're going to pick up your fifth. No, it's got to be done. I can't remember what it is, June, somewhere in June or whatever it is, like before the fourth season starts. So they're going to pick up his fifth-year option, so that, so his cap hit in 2025, Micah Parsons will obviously is going to go up. But I mean, it's hard to believe he's only going to be making, $5.4 million next season. But I mean, you can guarantee it's going to go up, I guess, close to 20 million or whatever it is. But then after that, once they sign him on the dotted line, he's going to want at least 30 million. I mean, the best thing for him is to have another one or two guys on the defensive line or whatever, go make 30, 32, 34, whatever like that. Because then it's like when it's his turn, right? Don't know if he'll be resetting the market or whatever, but, he knows, Bosa is making 34. Well, guess who's making 34 as well, too, or 35, whatever. You know what I mean? So, I mean, once he gets, I said, I mean, you look at ABCD gets paid. I mean, Micah Parsons, I said between those two guys, you're looking at probably at least $60 million a year for two guys. So that's the one problem is when you have two real good, I mean, ABCD is, right? I mean, they don't want him. The Giants will take him, right? Could you imagine him running around, right? In Giants blue? I'd like him. But I mean, so when you got somebody that good and you got, Parsons out there as well, my God. Two just young, absolute young studs. Now, if you look at the Eagles, okay, the Eagles, I have about $28 million in cap space, okay. Now, of course, then you look at Jalen Hurts' his contract. It's slowly going up. Jalen Hurts, slowly. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Jalen Hurts. What we got? All right. 2023. Okay. Cap hit was like $6 million or whatever. Okay. So next season, it looks like his cap hit is 13. All right. Then his cap, it was like going to be 21. Then it's going to be like 31. They also have options and other things too. So it looks like his salaries are going to keep escalating. And then like in 2028, his cap hit's going to be worth like $54 million. And, so what he's going to count against the cap is going to slowly go up. But of course, the cap is going to slowly go up. But next season, let's see here. Jalen Hurts looks like his cap hit is $13 million. Right now, of course, this is also they say 28.5 million the Eagles have next season, but then this is not included. Jason Kelce retires. If he retires, his cap hit is over $12 million. So if Kelce were to retire, his 12 plus and what they got their 28.5, they'll have over $40 million. Obviously, they can do some stuff with Hassan Reddick. He's supposed to. His cap hit's 21. Lane Johnson, his cap hit's going to be 16. They got other guys. Brown, he's 12, and Darius Slay is about 11. Malata he's almost 11. So they got some guys that they can do some finagling around with. Let's see here. But it says the 2024 Eagles projected salary cap is about 30. I don't know. This article I see here is $35.9 million. All right. But also in this article, they also say that my projection is based on the following, assuming that's a $256 million cap, salary cap. So we don't know yet. Right. Let's say it includes their salary, their practice squad players, but assuming a retirement from Jason Kelce, assuming a retirement or release of Brandon Graham, possibly a cut designation of Fletcher Cox, a dead cap money void years of Marcus Mariota and Derek Barnett. Includes the minor amount of existing dead money from Kyron Johnson. So they got guys that they're probably either going to have to cut or they can't resign because they can't afford it, right? But another one thing that they did is you look is that what Howie Roseman's been kind of doing is trying to like a lot of just kind of like pushing the chips in the middle of the table. We need to win now and stuff like that. And you look at a lot of these guys, right? Like Hassan Reddick here. You look at him. I've looked at quite a few of the players, but you look at one like Hassan Reddick, right? After 2024, okay, it looks like he has a dead cap money of 13. Like he's got like avoidable. It looks like he has some money due. Dead cap money, $13.688 million. And then they take that money and they spread it out over the next 3 years. So it looks like quite possibly, Reddick is not going to be on, or he won't be, he'll be like a free agent maybe, or maybe or whatever. But I mean, looks like he has money being counted toward the cap for 2025, 2026, and 2027. And he doesn't, looks like he's not like signed with them or he's a free agent or exactly whatever, but it looks like he has some void money, but I mean, they do this with a lot of their players, like Lane Johnson, the next highest guy, Lane Johnson. I mean, let's see, 2028. I mean, when he's 38 years old in 2028, looks like he has a dead cap hit of like $3.7 million. It may not be with the team. I mean, they do a lot of that. They do a lot of this as it was they say salary gymnastics or salary cap gymnastics or something like that. They make it all look all nice and shiny and, oh, man, we got all these guys. Man, we got such a great team. But then they don't look down the road at all the BS that Howie Roseman's doing, with all the numbers and everything, right? And now when their team just goes, boom, in the tank, right? And then so now as the years go by, right, and they have to start paying the piper, say, oh, that's right. Yeah, we got a void year on this guy, and we got a void year on that guy, and we got a void year here, and we're paying dead cap money here and dead cap money there and dead cap money. Oh, yeah, we're pretty much, yeah, huh. So, I mean, everybody thinks Howie, oh, McGee, Howie Roseman, McGee, what a great GM, McGee. No, not really. No, because seems like he's pushing a lot of the money down the road. Get it all on the chips in the middle of the table so we can win this year. Don't worry about down the road. That's what, so. But the Eagles have about $40 million, and that's right around somewhere close to right around where the Giants are at. Let's see where we at here. As I said, the Commanders, I said they have, but I mean, in next year, I said the Commanders, right? According to Spot Track, that's all I'm going by here, right? Let's see here. They have about $84 million. So, I mean, the Commanders are in very, very nice shape now. As I said, whoever comes in, right, they're going to have a lot of money to spend. Now, obviously, that's not something you want to be doing. Yeah, it's not. It certainly don't want to do that. Maybe extend some of your players, right? Some of the guys that you got, some of the guys you drafted, some of the guys, the young guys you want to keep going forward, extend them, chew up maybe some of that, but you certainly don't want to be going out, oh my man, we got $85 million. We're bringing like 9 brand new free agents and just, no, you don't want to be doing that. You want to sprinkle in a couple free agents here and add to the right, maybe a little depth here, something like that. Maybe give yourself 1 or 2 nice shiny toys. Maybe 1 on the offense, 1 on the defense, something like that. But you don't want to be going out hog wild crazy like what Jerry Reese did in 2016. We started bringing in Snacks Harrison and Jack Rabbit and, Olivier Vernon. And, I mean, you don't want to be start doing that. Right? You get money and you get money and you get, you don't want to do that. right? So you got to be very, very careful. But I mean, especially I said in 2025, the Commanders going to have a lot of money. So I said, so they're going to look pretty attractive. Whatever coach comes in, whoever they wind up hiring, I'm not even sure if they even hired somebody, but it's going to look pretty attractive. Look, you're going to possibly get to pick maybe whatever quarterback you might want, or maybe the second quarterback in a pretty good quarterback class, and you got some money to spend. And you got, not the greatest team, but right, play your cards right. And I said in 2025, they're going to have a ton of money to spend. So the Commanders, they're looking good. So, don't be surprised if in the next, maybe couple of years or so, the Commanders start working their way back up, especially if they start keeping some of their talent. And then it was kind of weird. I mean, how you figure with Chase Young, it was kind of almost like a fire sale. I guess it was to let go, maybe get an extra couple draft picks or whatever. But they have some money going forward. They could have kept those guys, but it is what it is, right? But I said, look, don't be surprised in the next couple of years, the Commanders, especially if they get the right quarterback, right? They get one of those guys turns out to be a stud in the NFL level, because I mean, a lot of them look good in college, but sometimes it doesn't always transfer into the pros. But they get the right quarterback for the right system, right, on a rookie deal, and they got all this extra money and all that and everything. Look for the Commanders to maybe start trajecting up. This once, especially the right coach too, right? Right coach, right system, and everything, right? And then of course, then we look at the Giants here. I said the Giants, don't have a ton of money, right? They're still working their way out of cap hell. I mean, right now it looks like they have about $28 million. I mean, this once again, it fluctuates a lot. I mean, you got guys' salary bonuses and stuff like that. They get entered into this, so some more money can come out of this. Out of the 28 million. Obviously, don't forget about the draft class, right? We have the draft class. We have to sign. The number 6 pick is going to cost some money, right? But then you got the 2 second-round picks. That's going to cost some money, right? So we got 5 picks in the top 105 or 106 or 107 somewhere. So that's going to cost you some money, right? But I mean, that's a good thing, right? Because we got 5, right? Almost 5 of the top 100 picks in this draft. That's pretty good. You can do some damage with that. But I mean, so the Giants, I said, Adoree Jackson's probably gone. Maybe Xavier McKinney's probably gone. I mean, there's things they can do. I said quite possibly maybe let Mark Lewinsky go. I think let's see, what did he say if they let Lewinsky go here? It's like $4 or $5 million, I think. Oh, about $5.5 million looks like they'll save if they let him go. Yeah, because his cap hit is $7.1 million. Okay. But his dead money is only $1.5 million. So they'll save about $5.5 million. Right. But of course, that doesn't include maybe if they're going to try to do something with Saquon. Right. They did something with Saquon. It would behoove, obviously the Giants, and make Saquon happy if they can get like a 2 or 3 year deal in there. So instead of the tag, because that's boom, 12 point whatever million right out of the cap. There's no, well, we'll give you a signing bonus, and we'll take this 12 million and extend it out. No, it's boom, right out of the cap. So, I said it would behoove the Giants, and I said make Saquon happy, sign him to like a 3 year deal, maybe he can get out after 2 seasons, right? But maybe take that cap hit this year that Saquon instead of putting him on the franchise tag at 12+ million, maybe sign him to a deal where he's only going to get $7 million this year or something or whatever, right? So bring it down a little bit, right? Because you'd like to bring in at least one little toy, to play with, right? But I'm saying, but between this year and next season with the Giants, hopefully maybe have another 14 draft picks. Maybe we can add them to the team, right? We look here in 2025, the Giants will actually, the Giants won't have quite as much money as the Commanders, but according to this, the Giants will have $121 million. But of course, you figure, according to Spot Track right now, 121 million. But like I said, if you have two draft classes, right, that's about $20 million a year, right? You have 7 guys this year, 7 guys next year. So there's about $20 million that's going to come out of that. So that'll knock it down to maybe about, I'm just ballparking there, maybe down to about 100 million. Okay. But still, the Giants might have 100 million, But, the Giants, once again, with their $121 million, salary cap space, they only have 26 guys on their roster. So they have to bring in a bunch of other guys. Okay. But one thing they can do, right, is that just saying they want to get rid of Daniel Jones. If they want to get out of Daniel Jones' contract, there's about $20 million in dead. How much exactly is there? Let's see. It's like $22 million in dead cap money. Let's see, 22 in dead cap money. His cap hit in 2025 is 41.6. So his dead cap would be 22. So they'll save around 19 million. Right? If they move on from Daniel Jones. Right? So, the Giants quite possibly could have, 100 million. And this is what I'm saying. This is quite possibly maybe after signing these two, this draft class this season and the draft class next season. Right? The Giants can maybe have about 100 million. So we can certainly, so if we don't go out, if we don't, we go through the draft and say we draft another wide receiver, well, we get one in the 3rd round and he's not a dog. It's not the end of the world. If we go through the draft and we draft ourselves an edge rusher, but we get him in the 4th round, he's not we got Kayvon and we got this other guy, we got our 2 edge rushers, So if we don't do that, it's not the end of the world. Okay. Because next season, we can maybe go out and get yourself a number 1 wide receiver. I'm not sure who the free agents. I don't know. But of course, it's going to cost you $25-30 million, right? The same thing with an edge rusher. If there's some free agent edge rusher out there next season, just saying, right? And if we don't get one in the draft, I'm just saying, we can do it next year. Let's not forget. I mean, are we going to need somebody to replace Xavier McKinney? Or do we think they're on the roster if we don't quite bring Xavier McKinney back? Right? We need another. We got to have another edge rusher. We got to have another edge rusher. We need a dog of a wide receiver. Who's going to be the other cornerback opposite Deonte Banks? And we got some guys on the roster, sure, but is there somebody we really want to put out there as the number 2 cornerback, or do we want to go out and get one? We really could use somebody next to Sexy Dexy, somebody who can maybe, we got Ashawn Robinson, it's good run stuffer, right? But somebody, we got Sexy, and then you got somebody else here that can maybe push the pocket, right? Like Batman and Robinson, do a good 1-2 punch. But then you also look at it too. What defensive coordinator are we bringing in here? What system is he going to want to run? Is he going to want to run a 4-3? Right? If he does, what defensive ends do we have? I mean, you can't be putting Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon out there. They're a little too light. So, a lot of questions, a whole lot of questions. But I'm saying, but if we don't wind up with it, if we don't get a real superior edge rusher in this draft, maybe next season. If we don't get ourselves a number 1 wide receiver in free agency or in the draft this year, there is next season. So there is still hope. Okay, those are the 2 big ones that we need. The 2 real expensive ones we're going to need. If we're going to get if we want to get a safety to replace Xavier McKinney, it's going to cost you, sure, but it's not going to cost you what a wide receiver or an edge rusher is going to cost you. Right? If we need to bring in, say, maybe a guard, let Lewinsky go out there in free agency and bring in a guard. It's not going to cost you $30 million a year, right? So, I mean, the Giants obviously have some questions and all that and everything, but they may not be able to do a whole heck of a lot in free agency as far as bringing in a couple big boomers. We can maybe do that next season, but what we do with our draft capital, right? The first and the 2 second rounders, I said, there was 5 in the top 105 or 107 or something like that. I mean, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Then, especially if you figure, if possibly, maybe, because there's some teams behind the Giants who need quarterbacks. Or there's teams obviously behind the Giants that might want to jump up with the Giants, especially if Shane lets it know, hey, we're open for business, baby. Give us a call. Come on. 1-800, love you Giants. Come on. Give us a call. We're wheeling and dealing here, baby. Number 6 is open for you, right? Especially if you move back 4, 5, 6 spots or something and you pick up another second-round pick, even if it's next season, right? Pick up another, that could be good for the Giants, right? So, yeah. A lot of things going on, a lot of things, but obviously first things first, we need, we need to fill our coaching staff up, that's for sure, without question. But as I said, we have to have some nice draft capital this season, and in next season, hopefully we'll have some salary money. And I said, if they, for whatever reason, if they do want to move on from Daniel Jones, that's about another $20 million they'll save next season too, right? Then I seen this article too. It's kind of like, hey, how about a boat trip, right? I mean, of course, we all know the boat trip with Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, Victor Cruz, the Salsa King, and all that. We all know that the famous or infamous picture and all that stuff and everything. But Saquon, he was kind of not Saquon. Odell, he was kind of was a little upset or whatever that it took on the form that it did. Of course, and it seemed like it just kind of jinxed the Giants when the week after they went to the Packers and he got smoked by it was 38-13 to the Packers. Of course, Odell had, I think, 4 catches for like 27 yards or something like that. He had some drops, so that didn't really look too good. So, one of the things here is, do that after you win the Super Bowl or after the season, whatever, it's a little food for thought here, right? When you're in the middle of the season, it's that time to party. I mean, I know Jerry Rice, right? The greatest wide receiver of all time. Okay. I know after the season's over with and he's got to play the Dallas Cowboys the following week or Aaron Rodgers or whatever, the Packers the next week in a playoff. Guess what Jerry Rice ain't doing, right? He's not going on a boat trip. Okay. He's the greatest of all time, right? Why don't we take a little, right? I mean, and in this article, we won, but of course we got to go out and celebrate, baby. Come on. No. No. Why don't you do that after the season's over with? Okay. Why don't you worry about your opponent? Okay. Why don't you worry about them? Right? Might be a good idea. Right. So he was a little upset that this article kind of took on a story of its own. It seemed like. It says Odell Beckham Jr. reveals his biggest regret of the Giants boat photo that still haunts him. Odell Beckham Jr. revealed what really went down on the night the infamous Giants boat photo was taken in 2017 and explained why it makes him mad when people joke about it still. Well, what do you think, right? I mean, you go on a boat trip to celebrate this, that, and the other thing, and the following week you go out and get smoked in the playoffs. I mean, what do you expect? Says the Ravens wide receiver, who was the 12th overall pick in the 2014 draft and spent 5 seasons with the Giants, explained what led to the Miami trip. What led to it? Where he and his former Giants teammates, including Victor Cruz and Sterling Shepard, were photographed on a yacht following their win over Washington in the regular season finale. You win a football game. Sure, hey, of course. Let's go out on a yacht trip. The Giants won their way to the playoffs after the December 31st victory, and Beckham said he and his teammates just wanted to let off a little steam to celebrate the new year before their wild card matchup with the Packers. Why don't you do that after the season's over with, right? Why don't you worry about the Packers, okay? Beckham explained his biggest regret was that he let the fallout from the infamous boat photo strip him of his confidence heading into the wild card matchup. When the picture came out, the energy, I'm a huge energy person. Everybody around me, even in my own self, I felt like we had lost, Beckham said during the appearance on the Punchline podcast hosted by teammate Marlon Humphrey. I had the best week in practice. I didn't let it bother me, tried to dance it off. But deep down inside, something had felt wrong. The attention had been shifted from the Giants versus the Packers to the boat story. I mean, it's right on the page here, main page, New York Post. Oh, my God. My biggest regret about all that, the incident allowed that to happen. Not that I went and had a good time on New Year's. It's that I put myself in a situation where this story could be used to create a distraction from what's really going on. Well, what do you expect to happen, right? I mean, it's the news. What do you expect them to do? Beckham remembered that he and his teammates were on a high after the Giants win against Washington. It's New Year's that night. He said, "You're going to go celebrate." Now, you celebrate after the season's over with. Wherever you're going out in New York or Miami, we decided we're going to fly down there, have a good little night, hop back on the plane and get out there. No problem. Yeah, right. The night happens. We're calling the pilots. Something is going on. The flight's going to be delayed until 6 o'clock in the morning. So we end up going to an after party where there was Trey Songz there, Justin Bieber. We were just kicking it, chilling. This was a house that was on the water. A boat ends up coming out there. And I'm like, we go out there and then come back in. Beckham went out to explain that he hadn't even packed anything for the night and end up borrowing Cruz's Timberland boots. So when you look at Odell Beckham on the boat, he's got Timberlands on. Well, they're not his. He had to borrow Victor Cruz's Timberlands. If you look at the picture now that I tell the story, you could tell that no one on that boat thought that this picture would be posted before going to the playoffs, he said. The sun is beaming on you. Your shirt's off. We're on no sleep. We're tired. We're ready to go home. We've been ready to go home. We're already had our night. We did what we needed to do. Beckham wouldn't reveal the name of the person who posted the photo. He wouldn't say. So somebody took a photo and wouldn't post it. But looking back in hindsight, was it the best decision to even enjoy yourself on New Year's or have a night out? No, of course not. Beckham was limited by the Packers defense and finished with 4 catches for 28 yards, and the Giants receiver was plagued by the drops. He also shut down recent rumors that he had planned to rent out a massive yacht called the Spirit of Baltimore for the Ravens offensive player. Oh, my goodness. But, I understand. But you also have, it's like, we want to go out and celebrate and this, that, and the other thing. But, why don't you, put some things in perspective, right? Why don't you, after you win the Super Bowl, okay, then you go out and celebrate. Hey, we're celebrating Christmas because we were practicing then. We're celebrating New Year's Day, New Year's Eve because we were getting ready for the pack. Why don't you worry about, the big thing, right? It's not all about, hey, let's party, baby, right? There's plenty of time to do that after you're done playing football. You got to, a right to the organization, right? You have to show up for them, right? For the fans, for the team, for yourself, right? Why don't you get prepared to play a playoff game, right? And then worry about all that other stuff, right? And just all just wind up backfiring, right? I mean, what do you expect the press to do? Really? Get a picture like that? Of course they're going to run with it. It is what it is. Now, to be true and to be fair and all that stuff and everything, if they had one wind up winning the Super Bowl, that I would have been, it would have been something like Beckham and crew and all that. They went out and they had a great time. They kept the energy going. They brought it back to the Giants team, and the Giants went on a roll, won the Super Bowl and all that. Everything. But kind of just the moral of the story is, success leaves clues, right? Why don't you follow what the great ones do? Okay, just what would the great ones do? You want greatness? Do what the great ones do. As I said, look at what Jerry Rice did. What would Jerry Rice do after the? Would he go to fly down to Miami, hang out on a boat, whatever, and come up? No. He's getting ready. next week's playoff game, because by far and away that next week's playoff game means so much more than any stupid ass boat trip could ever do. So I mean, just is what it is. But stuff like that just kind of is what it is. Also, I think it's just also kind of sour grapes in me anyway. Also, because it's kind of also like, they just got totally smoked in the playoff game. Had a real nice season, and it just all went. And that was also wound up being the playoff game. Wound up being was Victor Cruz's last game with the Giants too. So bad way for him to go out, but it is what it is. All right, guys. Well, it's been 1 hour. I'm probably not going to be doing something tomorrow. I'm taking a week or so off. We're going to like a family reunion. My wife's like a family reunion in Tennessee. So tomorrow night / Saturday morning, whatever it is, we're driving from New Jersey, driving down to Tennessee. So I'm gonna be off for about a week or so, whatever. So hopefully by the time I come back in 7, 8, 9 days, whatever the case might wind up being, hopefully the Giants have their special teams coordinator in place, and they got the defensive coordinator in place, and we can pick things up from there. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Everybody who spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants.